Good evening, everyone. Chris Schultz, along with Gary Hoff, FridayNightVictors.com. This is your 2019 edition. This is our first video of the season. We've done a couple of podcasts. Yep. Gary, how you doing?
Fantastic. Feels like football season out there.
Feels like football season.
It must be football season.
We're about ready to go. We are going to do our preseason picks, not preseason picks, our week one picks.
Week one, talk a little bit about the teams. We might make 2 videos out of this if we go too long.
Yeah, we're going to try and keep this at 15 minutes because YouTube
doesn't play well.
Doesn't play well if you don't do that. So let's hop right into the Thursday games, and we're going to kind of go through them as quick as possible. And, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So, all right, first game on the schedule on Thursday, I have Thurston at Flat Rock. Thurston was 5-4 last week. Flat Rock was 4-5. Gary, give us some thoughts on this game, and who's your pick?
I'm going to go with Flat Rock. I just think they're better coached. You know, we talk every year that Buck Ream is a heck of a coach, and I think that's just going to carry over into this year as well. Ravion Davis, maybe the best player in Monroe County. And Tyler Hunt, big offensive, defensive lineman. Joel Siniarski, I want to say it is. Joey Siniarski, offensive, defensive line. Those 3 players, Hunt, Siniarski, and Williams, Bradley Williams on the offensive line. Those 3 players right there are going to have to get the job done if Flat Rock is going to make the playoffs.
Okay, I'll say Karan Clayton will be the difference in the game for the Flat Rock Rams, and I'm going to go with Flat Rock myself.
Nice.
So, all right, next up we have Southgate Anderson, who was 3-6 last year, at Carlson, who was 8-2. Carlson won last season's game 42-6.
Did you put Carlson's preview up? Yeah.
Not yet.
Did you get it up? It's coming up.
It's coming.
Yeah, that's why I don't have them written down here, because you didn't. I was going by our previews. Carlson, Jack Jarmo, Southgate Anderson. I don't think they have a chance in this game. Carlson rolls. Pretty easy win.
I think Carlson will win this game as well.
Yep.
Okay, next on there is Airport at Ida. Airport was 4-5 last year. Ida was 8-3. So,
Airport Ida. I love this game. I hope they play it every single year. It's a great matchup.
I agree. I think it's a great matchup that should be played every year.
And this is a tough one. Ida returns 1 player on offense. And the full house tee is not a thing you want to do that in. Not an offense you want to do that in. A lot of intricacies, I should say. The Italian combo at quarterback, Morelli and Giannino. Who's going to start at quarterback? We don't know. There's a bit of a battle there. Airport. They took a big step forward last year. I think they continue this step forward with Andrew Herrick as Girlday walks in the building. Andrew Herrick, Mena, big offensive lineman, and Noah Blankenship's going to take over the helm at quarterback for Goins. I like Airport in this game, but I think it's going to be a pretty darn good football game. I'm taking Airport.
Yeah, I very rarely pick against Ida, but I am going with Airport as well. Yeah. I thought Airport looked really good at the scrimmage, and they scrimmaged some really good teams. So I'm going to go with the Jets as well. All right, next up we have New Boston Huron is going to be at Melvindale. Huron was 2-7 last year, and so was Melvindale at 2-7. Gary, thoughts on this?
I love Huron in this game. The question is for me, Molnar Myers. Who's starting at quarterback? Are they going to do a platoon? They're both really good, and I know there's some teams in the league that wish they had one of these guys. So it's going to be interesting what Coach Smith does. Blosser, that running back, has he been there for 4 years, or is it his brother?
Same kid.
Same kid.
He's been there forever.
He's been there forever. I'm taking the Chiefs.
I will go with the Chiefs as well. I think their offense is very, very good this year. We'll see how their defense fares. I think their defense is going to need to play well for them to get victories, but their offense will be able to score. So I'm going with the Chiefs as well. Next up on the slate, we have Monroe High is at Wyandotte Roosevelt. Last year, Monroe was 7-4. Wyandotte Roosevelt, 6-4.
Great game. Maybe one of the best ones of week one. Wyandotte's made the playoffs 13 straight years. That is ultra impressive. Mm-hmm. Monroe High, Wyatt Head at quarterback. He's got to get the job done, and many say he will. A few people I talked to saw him in the scrimmage. He is a great player. Return offensive lineman Armando Flores and Lucas Ellis. And a player we may have missed in the Defensive Player of the Year, Anthony Harris. Keep an eye on him at linebacker. I'm going with the Trojans to beat the Wyandotte Bears.
I'm going to go, personally, I am going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Wyandotte Roosevelt in this game for no reason other than my father was a 1954 graduate of Wyandotte Roosevelt, and my grandfather was a 1927 graduate of Wyandotte Roosevelt.
That's good a reason
So
as any.
I am going with the Bears.
Yes, sir.
All right, next up, we have Romulus at Riverview. Romulus was 3-6 last season. Riverview was 7-3. Riverview won last season's Week 1 matchup 42-12. Gary.
Yeah, Riverview returns 5 on offense and 6 on defense. Garrett Vensky, boy, we've been saying his name for a little while, haven't we, Vensky?
Yeah.
Excellent player on the offensive defensive line. Big old Edward Bryant on the line again.
Yes.
And look out, newcomer, Cal Lockhart, linebacker, tight end. I think he saw the field last year.
He did. He was brought up as a freshman and was able to contribute last year.
He plays with a little bit of a nastiness, a little bit of an edge, and he's going to set the tone on that defense even as a sophomore. And, of course, Riverview. Romulus has no chance in this game, in my opinion.
So you're going with you. I will go with Riverview as well. Next up, we have a battle of two teams that were 5-4 last season. Dundee, the Vikings travel to Romulus Summit Academy. I don't know why they call it Romulus, because it's in Huron Township.
You would know.
Must be the mailing address, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're playing the Dragons at Summit Academy.
Dundee returns 6 on offense, 5 on defense. Matt Van returns at quarterback. Luke Williams, watch out for him. Maybe an Offensive Player of the Year candidate at running back. Blaze McBee returns as well. Their defense was great last year. I think hopefully if they continue that going forward this year, I think they can have a nice year at Dundee. If not, they may struggle. I'm taking the Vikings over the Dragons in Week 1.
I'm going to go with the Vikings as well. I think Summit's going to have a nice team this year, but I'm not sure if they can match the physicality of the Dundee Vikings.
I think that's going to be a problem. Big Ethan Abbott and John Helmstetter on that offensive line.
Very good.
Yep.
All right, next up we have this was a great game last year, and it is 9-1 Groseal Red Devils. They were 9-1 last year at Gable Richard, who was 7-5 last year. Groseal won that game 27-24 in a game, I believe, that the Pioneers were up 14-3 in the first quarter of that game. Thoughts on that game?
Go ahead. You go first, Chris.
Well, I think you win a lot of times with defense, and I think Groseal's defense is going to be really, really good. Both teams lost a lot of seniors from last year's squad. I don't think Gable Richard, even though they will be playing at home and on the turf, can keep up with the Groseal Red Devils. I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Two excellent kickers on both sides of the ball. Maybe a 13-10 victory for the Red Devils.
Two excellent coaches on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
Two great coaches.
John Bodner at Groseal, and then Thomas Michelson over at Richard. Good coaches.
They are, and I think it's going to be a good game just like last year. I thought, Richard kind of surprised Groseal last year, and they're not going to do it again, but I think Groseal wins in a close one, just like you said. Guys like Zeman and Blanzy, those players are just they don't come around too often.
How long have those guys been there?
Yeah,
I mean that's the same thing.
They don't come around too often, but they've been there a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Summerfield at Erie Mason. Summerfield was 5-4 last season. Erie Mason was 1-8. Summerfield won last year's Week 1 matchup 41-34.
Okay, Mason. They're not young anymore. The kids have grown up. Mm-hmm. Coach Boudry talked in our preview that they're about the same age as everybody else now. It's a big deal. Boudry, Frank, Caden Grossbeck. They return 9 on offense, 9 on defense. That's huge. Summerfield, new coach. Lipka, new head coach. That might mean something.
I saw their scrimmage. They look solid.
Well, they're always solid.
Yeah, they look solid. I was impressed with them. I think they're a little bit better than I thought they were going to be.
I think Summerfield, you look up solid in high school football, Summerfield's that team. They're always solid. Albin takes over at quarterback, and LaRocca, there's always LaRocca.
How many?
It's amazing.
Tons of them.
It's amazing. Is at running back. But you know what? I'm going with the Eagles. I'm high on the Eagles this year. I just think it's their turn. And Boudry is just tough. Frank is tough. So we'll see. What do you got?
I'm going with Erie Mason as well.
Wow, okay.
Because I just think that's going to happen.
Okay,
How about that?
There you have it.
All right, and then our last game on Thursday night, which is going to be our Gerwick-Nissan game of the week, is Madison Heights. Madison travels to Navarre Field to play St. Mary Catholic Central. Madison was 13-1 last season, lost to New Lothrop in the state championship game. The Falcons were 9-3. Gary, you'll be part of the broadcasting on 98.3 for that.
Yeah,
for that game.
On the other side of the camera. Grodi will be the play-by-play, getting it done as he always does.
Give us a quick synopsis of that game, if you would.
All right, so Falcons lost this game 2 years ago to Madison Heights Madison. That might be on their mind a little bit, but I just think the Falcons have a better team this year. Where Madison might have had the better team 2 years ago. I watched Madison's scrimmage a little bit. Woeful on offense, but on defense they're outstanding. Flew around the ball, big hits, really quick, athletic. The Falcons, Flint, Bogdansky, you've heard these names before. Cousineau, Morgan, Gullen, Harrington at QB, Bergmoser, it's just names we've all heard before many times. I like the Falcons in this one, and if the Falcons can support the edge on defense, if they can cut that edge off, this game won't be close.
I would agree with that. Okay. I said that early on one of our podcasts. I think SMCC wins that game. Yeah. All right, we're quickly moving along because we're running out of time here. We are looking at the Friday games. First off, we got Sterling Heights. Stephenson is traveling at Bedford. I forgot to write down last year's records.
That's
but I think, Stephenson beat Bedford last year out at Stephenson, I believe it was.
They did.
So thoughts on this game?
Bedford returns 4 on defense, 4 on offense. Christian Brown, Matt Brown, the Brown boys, and quarterback Brady Henderson. I like Bedford to get him at home this year.
I agree. I'm going to go with Bedford in Mike Vickers' debut for the Kicking Mules.
That's right.
All right, next up, great game. And I think we might go down there.
I'm going.
So
I'll be there, Coach Mensing, on Friday. Look for me.
Yeah, we're gonna be down there. I'm gonna make it too. I'm supposed to go out of town this weekend, but I am holding off till Saturday morning so I can go see the Friday night game.
See the Bobcats.
And that is the Ottawa Lake, where there is no lake.
There is no lake.
Whiteford Bobcats, who were 10-1 last year, is traveling over to Blissfield to play the Royals, who were 7-5 last season.
Blissfield has a stud quarterback. Whiteford has a freshman quarterback. How many times do you see a freshman start in any high school, really? Wow.
Usually in Division 8, I guess it would be.
But the quarterback in the double wing blocks a lot. He pitches the ball to the motion back and heads upfield to block, turns into the hole. So he might be a big kid who can block. I don't know. We're going to find out. You know what? I like Blissfield. I think Blissfield is a sleeper in Division 6, and Whiteford is really young and had to replace a lot of people.
I will go with Blissfield as well. They are going to be my favorite to win the LCAA this year.
Mine too.
So I think that's a win for the Royals. All right, we got 2 games left. We're going to wrap it up real quick here just because we're trying to stay under 15 on this YouTube deal.
You better.
Yeah, we're all right. Okay. 4-5, Bridgeport. They were 4-5 last year. They're at Milan, who was 8-3. Milan won that game 34-28, but they were up big late in that game and kind of ended up close. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, Milan put the 2s in, and Bridgeport kept it on the gas and made it a game. Hines, Pennington on the offensive line. Furtney, is he playing? We don't know. Look out for newcomer Jet Isaacs at running back. He's got to be good. Jet, running back?
He must be.
I like Milan, and they might just win by 40.
I'm going to go with Milan as well, and I'm going to tell you this, people. I think some people have been sleeping on Milan. I think they're going to be dynamite this year.
I'm changing my pick to 6-3. I had it 5-4, now 6-3 now.
You can't do
but
that,
but
that's okay.
But they could be way better than that.
All right, and then our last game of the week is on Friday. Is 2-7 from a year ago. Annapolis traveling to Monroe Jefferson, who was 0-9. They are currently in the middle of a 19-game losing streak.
Yes,
but the Bears look good in their scrimmage. Thoughts on this? We got 45 seconds.
I think the Bears are going to be pretty darn good this year. I think they get off the snide, get Coach Janot his first victory, and I can't wait for that. They beat Annapolis, A.J. Janot, Drake Vanderpool at tight end, Alex Mansfield, big offensive tackle. I like Jefferson. I like the Bears. I like them to win at least 2 games this year, maybe more.
All right, I'm going to go with the Jefferson Bears as well. So that's our picks. We're going to wrap it up. So Friday night victors, our video 1 of the 2019 season is in the book.